to another episode of Tea with Z. My name is Zamil Salanki, and it's an absolute pleasure to be joining each and every one of you again on another episode this morning. And if you are watching, you know the deal. Give me a like, give me a heart. Even if you're watching a replay, definitely do the same because that level of interaction drives, somewhat of a conversation. But if you really want to converse with us, drop comments in the comment section below as well. But the point of this, regardless whether or not you're liking, you're hearting, you're dropping a comment, it's about energy exchange. And what better way to do that is by facilitating some energy exchange between you and I this morning. Now, I hope you all had a great weekend. And if you were working throughout the weekend, I'm hoping you've got some time off scheduled shortly as well. Because as we've discussed previously, things are a bit chaotic at the moment and they've been chaotic for some time. But really, it's important, I guess, to take that time out to really use your time productively to recover. And I'm going to say that again. It's really important that you use your time productively to recover. Now, you might be wondering, well, wait a minute, that just sounds like work. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm working, but now you're telling me to work to recover. And yeah, that's the point. It takes work to actually prioritize recovery and to do recovery well. Now, I don't mean sitting in front of, the TV all weekend and just doing, just binge watching TV. And for some, yeah, definitely, that could stimulate some elements of recovery. But a lot of research shows that we actually don't get much recovery out of that mentally, but also physiologically by sitting in front of Netflix and just binge watching it. We might feel like we've just been entertained for hours on end, but we actually haven't enabled our body to recover. Now, you might be wondering, well, how does that lead into today's topic? Well, the point of today's topic is that we need to start breaking down our goals that we've probably set during, I guess, leading into the new year or starting off the new year. But if we're not well recovered to begin with, well, then we're going to start compounding more goals on top of what is probably already a very intense workload. And so what I wanted to do today is not spend a lot of time about recovery, but spend a lot about breaking it down. So how can we achieve the goals that we've set out based on our New Year's resolution? And our goals may have been quite arbitrary. They may have been like, I want to get fitter. I want to get more healthier. I want to, eat healthier. And I'm going to challenge you right now to ask you and to reflect on the goals that you've set already for 2022. How smart are they? How specific? How measurable? How attainable? How realistic? And how time-based are they? Now, time is probably the easiest element of that because by the end of 2022, I have ABC. But what have you done specifically? And without a specific goal that you can measure, that you can actually attain, and it's realistic, how can you actually break that down to ensure that until that goal is actually reached, we're not sitting in elements of failure? Because if you've got such a big picture goal, say my goal for this year is I want to lose 50 kilos, right? I want to lose 50 kilos this year. If that's your goal, up until that point that you have lost 50 kilos, you haven't reached that goal. Psychologically, you have failed. You have failed. You haven't attained that goal. And as a result of not attaining that goal, you have failed, right? Or you've not achieved it. And as a result of that, you're beating yourself up. You're worrying about it. You're stressing about it. And as a result of it, you're compounding that stress and maybe then working backwards away from that goal or simply throw that goal out altogether. And so what I want to do today is just challenge you to start firstly, one, really reviewing and refining that goal that you've set for yourself for 2022. How smart is it? And then starting secondly to break it down, to chunk it down to more manageable pieces. So firstly, what I want you to do is break that down to a quarterly goal. So you've got your annual goal, which might be, I want to lose 50 kilos in 2022. And then your quarterly goal. Well, what's that divided by 4? Or you might even break that up in different elements. You might go, well, actually, you know what? I want to lose 20 kilos this first quarter and then 10 kilos thereafter. And so as a result of that, how can you break it down? And a lot of people probably would break it down like that because we know that weight loss at the start is quite accelerated. We kind of then accelerate with weight loss and then we start to plateau. And so that would be quite a realistic and attainable goal. If you obviously you put the right diet, exercise, and programming behind it. But then thirdly, you want to break that down to a monthly or even a weekly goal. A weekly goal. And so within a quarter, you've got, say, 12 weeks, 12, 13 weeks. You've got that number of weeks within a quarter. So you could break that down into a weekly goal. And for some, I guess, if they were losing 20 kilos over the first quarter, then to break that down to a weekly goal would be, we could call it, I want to lose 1.5 weeks, 1.5 kilos for X number of weeks, and then lose a kilo thereafter. And you might go, well, actually, I've got this planned this week. So, it's my birthday coming up in this week. So I'm, probably going out to lunch with family. So I'm going to drop my goal for that week. And you can start to forward plan that. And what you're doing then is by breaking down those goals into even a weekly goal and then to daily tasks is by ticking off these smaller wins. You're not failing. You're not failing. Each and every one of those smaller tasks, smaller goals, cumulatively will then result in you achieving that larger annual goal. And so that's what I want you to do. And I challenge you to really review that and refine what you've done so far. Because I'm already seeing, and even in myself, some of the goals that I've put for myself is I've started to see some cracks form in the way in which I'm actually maintaining and living up to those goals. And I've started to ask, well, why? And for this first week, I've been diarizing and time blocking it, and I actually haven't fully finished my morning routine this morning. And I go, well, why didn't I complete most of my elements of this morning routine? And I looked at my diary and what I time block, and I'm like, actually, it's not in there. I didn't spend the time yesterday to actually make plans for today. And as a result of that, that's fallen to the wayside. I haven't prioritized it because I didn't have a visual reference to go, okay, no, this is what I need to do. And that's just how I work. I work very much off task lists, to-do lists, discussion lists, a lot of lists, because I prefer to get it out from here and onto a pen and paper or onto my phone, something that is a visual guide for me. So what works for you? What is going to work for you to help you then stick to these tasks, stick to these weekly goals, and tick them off each and every week? How are you going to diarize it? How are you going to take it from here onto a piece of paper, onto a plan to actually then implement? And that's the last point that I wanted to raise, is it's all well and good to have this intention and to make a plan, but we need to also implement that plan as well. But it starts off by breaking it down. It starts off by 1, making it smart, 2, breaking it down, and 3, turning it into a plan. And that's what I'm asking for you. Well, how are you doing that? Leading into 2022, what other areas of your life, what other areas of your healthpreneurship, what other areas of your team development can you start to implement these sorts of systems and strategies as well? So that's what I wanted to ask you today. And drop your comments in the comment section below. Even drop your New Year's resolutions in the comment section below. What are they? How are you chunking down those goals or breaking down those goals so that you can ensure that you can achieve them? Come to the end of 2022 and go, yep, I've ticked that off. So that's it from me today. Really some food for thought. And I just wanted to share that with you today and explore, I guess, how we can do that, because already we're over a week already into January. I can't believe it. Already the 10th of January. It's crazy. And as a result of that, how are you chunking down your goals to avoid the cracks forming so early on in the piece? Because remember, you're not a failure. You're not a failure And that's the point of breaking it down, is that each of those wins are all wins in its own right. Each kilo that you might be losing is a win in its own right. And cumulatively, that 50 kilos is gone. So that's it from me today. Have an absolutely incredible day. Now, if you don't feel like, just commenting anywhere, you can comment safely in the Limitless Network. Now, the Limitless Network is a group of like-minded people who are forming a community, I guess, and growing a global community, I should say that, for like-minded people that value health. So that's what it's about. It's it is a safe space to talk about these things as well. So drop your comments in the comment section below or shoot me a DM. But either way, super pumped to be on this journey with you throughout this year. And I look forward to catching up with each and every one of you on another episode of Tea with Z tomorrow. So stay safe, stay well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you then. Bye for now.